Hey guys, welcome to Total RC. I am Thomas and today I shall be showing you how to fit a bigger transmitter battery pack to your Spektrum NX6 or NX8 radio transmitter. The reason I don't mention the NX10 is because that already comes fitted with a bigger battery. So this is a genuine Spektrum part. It's still 3.7 volts, but it has more milliamps. So this is 6,000 milliamps. And the previous one, which is fitted, is only 2,000. So it's a diddly little thing. And you can see from the factory, they pad it out with all this foam. And whilst it does give you a fairly decent usage time, you don't want to be stuck at the field and run out of juice. So we're going to whip this little bad boy out and replace it with this one. It's very easy. All you will need is a pair of needle nose pliers. So let's get to it. And oh, actually, when I say that's all you need, you also need something very long and thin to hook the foam out with before you take out the old battery. But make sure it is not sharp because you will be poking around a battery. So this is just a ball-ended Allen key tool. So I shall crack on with that and show you how we're doing it. Okay, so here you can see we've taken off the battery cover here with our NX8. It's quite easy to take off. You just push this little tab down and it slides off. It's got these two little bars at the bottom and the groove in the edge of the battery cover probably makes it a lot more difficult for it to fall off. So that's quite handy. So what we need to do is you get your little tool with the rounded edge, or at least if you're using something sharp, make sure you're being careful around this battery, okay? And I find the easiest place to start is just here. And this little bit of foam will lift up. The battery will come along with it. So just take that and plop it to one side because you won't be needing that anymore. So now what you're left with is the 2,000 milliamp battery. Which is too small, so we need to get rid of it. So you'll see the original battery is just held in the corner of this little battery tray just here with a little push-in fitting, and all we need to do to get rid of that is basically grab your long nose pliers. Make sure you mind the cables because you might want to reuse this battery at some stage. Get a good purchase on this little white crimp and give it a good old wiggle around with your long nose pliers, and it will pop right out. There you go. So you can see the original battery here is just a single cell. The new one is triple cell, so it's got 3 times as much capacity. You can see this one says 6,000 milliamps and this one says 2,000 milliamps. So that one is going to be put aside as a spare, but today we'll be fitting this one. This one is going to be a little bit more fiddly to get in, I reckon, than the small one, just because you've got less space to move around the battery because it's bigger. But the same applies, just the opposite of removing it. You'll see you've got this little pin connector in the corner just here. You do need to make sure that this goes up the right way around. I don't know if you can see, it's got like some little parts just on the bottom there, so it will only go in one way, and these parts just here, little arrow shapes, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, will only go in one way, so do make sure you get it right. This is probably quite fiddly, so I'm going to try and set the camera up so you can see as best as possible what I'm doing. Okay, again, with fitting, I think needle nose pliers will be your friend. Luckily, it looks like that fits in just like that, which is nice and tidy. But we need to make sure this cable is poked out of the way. So what I'm going to do is grab this with my needle nose pliers and try and get as good purchase as I can. You only need to have enough purchase on it to get it started in this little hole. Because once it's in, you can just give it a good old push with the pliers. But in actual fact, that looks like it's not going to be that difficult to do whatsoever. Make sure you do not pinch the wires when fitting it, because obviously that might cause you problems further down the line. But if you can see just there, that is now done, which leaves me with a brilliant battery pack. And I'm just going to figure out the best way to lay this so it's not crimping up the wires just there. Probably like that. But let's see. I'll come back to you in a second. So it turns out with a little bit of fiddling, there's not enough length on the cables for you to put it that way round, so it must go this way round. But I think it would be prudent to try and avoid crimping up these cables as much as possible. There is going to, because this is rounded, there'll be a little bit of space underneath it. So I'm just going to plop that in there and hope that is okay. So let's get this door back on. It slides in from the bottom. You can't just bung it on like that and do it. It won't go because the it needs to be in this groove. So let's slide that up and turn the bad boy on and see what happens. All good. Needs a charge. It's only got 3.7 volts, so I'm going to go and put that on charge now. I expect it will take 3 times as long to charge up as the original when you first get it out of the box. But I'm going to go and do that now, and the job is a good one. If you found that useful, please give us a comment, also a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe. And we'll be back shortly with more from Total RC. Catch you later.